So, hello everyone. Welcome to the show. As always, I struggle to pin my comment. Today is no different.
Universal health care is a human right.
Universal health care is a human right. Why should
Pinning my
I
comment. Oh, there we go.
die so they can buy more ice? Staring at the mirror like, how could this be my life?
Okie doke.
Walking out the door shouldn't be your
This is my song.
What the fuck is that deductible?
This is my song, Universal Healthcare. I believe that every person has the right to healthcare. It is one of the things that I am famously supporting. Now, we have a fantastic comedy show today. Great guest, Grace is here, and we're going to have Alexis, and it's going to be fantastic. As always, please feel free to comment. Make sure you are kind, but always speak from the heart. Any international publications covering this, remember, this is a comedy show. It's supposed to be funny. I famously am a Brooklyn-based comedian, not necessarily a civil rights activist. But hey, whatever you want to label me, go for it. Okay, so let's just start the show. Where is Grace? Oh, there she is. Guys, I'm so excited. Ooh!
Hello.
Hi, Grace.
How are you?
I'm doing swell. How are you doing?
I'm good. You look amazing.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the show. You are so funny.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm obsessed with this show. I think it's the greatest.
Oh my God. No, Grace, let's just hop into this. Okay, so how many Black friends do you have?
I would say I have 6 close Black friends.
6 close Black friends. And why did you have that number prepared on Deckington?
Because I've watched this show.
Can you name your Black friends and provide their long form birth certificates?
Their long form birth certificates? I can name them.
Who are they?
Okay, my friend Hannah, my friend Ashley, my friend Ariel, my friend Kenan, my friend Kennedy, and my friend Lorena.
Okay, do your Black friends know that you use them for clout?
No, they don't. But I think they would be okay with it.
Okay, well, we'll just have to take your white woman's word on this. Now, who is your favorite Black celebrity?
Oh. Maybe like Gabrielle Union.
Really? I love Gabrielle Union.
Yeah.
What's your favorite role that she's done?
Let's see. That would have to be, I'm blanking on the cheerleading movie. What'd you say?
Bring It On.
Bring It On, yes, thank you.
Sure. I think one of the best parts, one of my favorite parts of Bring It On, which is a fantastic film, is when she stares in Black girl confusion. Could you provide us with that sort of acting? Oh, Gab Union is here. Hi, Gab Union.
I don't think it would make any sense for me to do that. And it would simply just, it would just be, I don't need to do that.
Okay, so you don't want to pay homage to the fantastic actress who is here, by the way. Okay, continue. What does Black love mean to you?
Oh, I don't, well, so I think it doesn't mean, I forgot about this question. It doesn't mean anything to me personally because I'm a white person, so I've never experienced Black love.
So you don't see it on the screen, and you don't feel anything when you see Barack Obama and Michelle loving each other. It makes you feel nothing. That's good to know.
So,
now, what do you qualitatively like about the Black community, Grace?
What'd you say?
What do you qualitatively like about Black people?
I don't think it's fair to say I like anything about any race as a whole.
Individually speaking, what do you like qualitatively about Black people?
I have a lot of Black friends that I'm very close with, whom I love very much.
That is the most vague answer you could possibly give, Grace. You tried it. Name 5 Black women off the top of your head.
Okay. Michelle Obama. Sorry, I was gonna say someone who no longer identifies as a woman.
What?
I was gonna say someone who no longer identifies as a woman. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay, Neo, SZA, Rihanna, Beyonce.
Neo?
Neo. She's a musician.
Oh, great. I love that you're pulling deep cut Black people. That's awesome. Now, have you ever called the police on a Black person before?
No.
Never.
No, I've never called the police.
That's a weird thing to brag about. Now, hypothetically, if you had to call the police, I stabbed you in an alley, let's just like go over a role play. What would the call sound like?
I think I would say I need help immediately, and I don't know who the person, I didn't see the person's face.
Oh, so you would lie to the police?
Yeah, and that's okay with me.
That's for the record, and you know the feds are watching. Now, what are your thoughts on reparations?
I think white people should be doing them. I think that there's so many ways to be doing them, and yeah.
What are some ways to be doing them reparations?
By donating, by talking to your friends and family, by like sticking up for people, like if there's a situation in the street that you see, just by being aware that racism is everywhere.
And that's reparations, is by interfering in situations on the street, Grace?
Well, I'm thinking about, like, if I saw a sticky racial situation.
What is a sticky racial situation, by the way?
Okay, let's say I see someone being actively racist.
Sure.
I would say something to them.
And that's reparations.
I guess it's not.
Will you commit to paying the Black woman in the comment section reparations, Grace?
I don't think I can pay every single person, but if people who are watching this have anything they want to like spread awareness on, I'd be happy to share it on social media.
You're a big proponent of spreading awareness and not investing in the Black community.
Well, I have monthly donations that I'm doing, and I am donating like on a day-to-day basis.
Okay. Now, you're German.
Mm-hmm.
Are Germans the Negroes of the white community?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And who are the Negroes of the white community?
There is no such thing.
Okay, that's on the record again. Have you ever worn blackface, by the way?
Sorry?
Have you ever worn blackface?
No, I have not.
Never?
Never.
Not a bronzer, not a tan?
No.
Okay, just so you know, I have internet sleuths in the comments, so they will be searching through your internet footprint. By the way, you have a very light internet footprint. I was trying to do research about you today, and I found that you've only done like 4 podcasts.
Yeah. I haven't really been, I've been in Chicago for a while, and there's not many podcasts and stuff like that there.
There are no podcasts in Chicago. Okay, how have you decolonized your mind in the last week?
In the last week?
Sure.
Let's see. Well, I've been trying to watch less like just mostly white TV shows and entertainment.
Okay. In exchange for, have you been watching Black Entertainment Network?
Let's see. So I watched Insecure a while back, and then I stopped watching it just because I think I just stopped watching TV at a time. So I picked that back up. I'm on season 2 of Rami now.
Okay, so your version of decolonizing your mind is watching Rami and Insecure. Interesting. Would you consider yourself a white ally?
A white ally? No. I don't think whites need allies.
Okay. Would you consider yourself a Black ally?
Yes, I would.
Okay. And how are you an ally to the Black community?
By like recognizing my racism and my complacency. I think that's complicit. I think that's the word. And by doing my best to, I'm not a reader, but I am trying to read, and by like watching as much as I can and just absorbing as much, and yeah.
Yes, watching Insecure and Rami. Have you watched Belly, for the record? The comments want to know.
Belly?
Yes, Belly.
No.
Okay, well then you can't consider yourself a Black ally. Now, how many books by Black authors have you read?
I don't read, so I've never read a book, honestly, a full book in my life.
What was the last book you've read, Grace? Like Goodnight
Well,
Moon?
Honestly, yeah, but I am trying to get through. But I mean, it's easy to it's like really enjoyable. I'm just like so heavily dyslexic.
Oh, okay, like Theo Huxtable. I get it. Now let's go through some civil rights leaders.
Sure.
You tell me in one sentence what comes to mind when I say their names.
Okay.
And I can tell that you studied for this, so don't disappoint me, Grace.
Okay.
Now, Martin Luther King.
A minister and activist, probably the most like well-known civil rights spokesperson.
Okay, Malcolm X.
Also a minister, also an activist. He was a spokesperson for the Nation of Islam.
Okay, Marcus Garvey.
He founded Garveyism, and he's a Black nationalist.
Okay, Philip Asa Randolph.
He organized the first predominantly Black labor union.
Wow. Okay, Grace. You don't read, but you read Wikipedia. Okay, then. No, Huey P. Newton.
He is a co-founder of the Black Panther.
Stokely Carmichael.
Stokely Carmichael, also known as Kwame Ture.
Oh my gosh.
And he was he one of the organizers for the global Pan-African movement?
I don't think so. Well, I mean, okay. He was Pan-African, so yes. But then also, okay. He's most notable for the book Black Power, but it could be Pan-Africanism because, okay, you studied more for this than I did. By the way, do you have notes in front of you? That's what people are saying.
There are my notes here, but I'm not.
You have
I'm
notes? Out. Wait, please, please show us your notes, please.
Okay.
Yay!
How do I flip this?
You double tap.
So this is part of it.
Okay, guys, read it. Screenshot this shit. Wait,
no, don't flip me over like that.
Do you have a Peloton?
No, it's a bike that I rented from my gym. It's a Black-owned business.
Okay, flex. Now, I love your notes. What does your note say about Louis Farrakhan?
About who?
Louis Farrakhan.
Oh, he was the leader of the Nation of Islam.
Thurgood Marshall.
I don't know.
Okay, so your notes were good, but they're not that good, though.
I know, you're right. I have work to do.
Where do you stand on Booker T. Washington versus W.E.B. Du Bois?
I genuinely I don't know.
Okay. Okay. This has been fantastic. Grace, why did you come on the show?
Because I just think you're so cool. I think this show is amazing, and I think you deserve to be on TV yesterday.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Grace. That's so kind. Last question for you. Have you, to the best of your knowledge, ever retweeted Sean King?
No, I have not.
Okay, great. And that is our fantastic interview with Grace. Grace, thank you so much for
doing this show. Ziwe.
Guys, please give Grace claps in the comments below. What a funny comedian. Go follow them. They are great. Okay, now it's time for our fantastic icon that is Alexis Haines Nyers. Let's see where they are. Okay. There we go. Add. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Also, shout out to not reading books.
Okay. Hi, baby. Hi.
Oh Lexi, can I
put on a look for you. I even put on earrings, like the whole thing.
I think you
look way better than I do.
No, I think you look fantastic. May I call you Lexi or do I call you Alexis?
You can call me whatever you want. I'm having severe anxiety right now. I think the last time I was publicly humiliated was Nancy Joe, and I'm sweating right now, Ziwe. I'm fucking drenched in sweat. If I shit my pants right now, I would not be surprised.
Oh my
So
goodness. Don't worry. I will be as kind as I humanly can. Which reminds me, I think of Pretty Wild as like my Citizen Kane of unscripted television. So I guess my first question
okay.
is, are you wearing 4-inch little brown BB shoes?
I sold those on like Poshmark. Is that not like the saddest thing
You did?
ever? Yes, I
Wow.
did. So the answer is no. I'm wearing no shoes right now.
Okay, Alexis. Now, how many? I've watched all of Pretty Wild in the last like.
Okay.
Now, how many messages did you leave Nancy Joe?
30
30.
probably. I
Are
mean,
you?
yeah.
Yeah. Are you aware of like the particular type of like white privilege it takes to yell at a Vanity Fair reporter about the crimes you've committed and its coverage?
It was very white for sure. That was I mean, yes, I've lived a very privileged life. 100%.
Alexis, where do you stand on socialism? And would you consider robbing A-list celebrities like Adrena Patridge to be a form of wealth distribution?
Yeah, I mean, I would consider myself very left. I voted for Elizabeth Warren, and my husband voted for oh my God, why am I blanking right now? Because I'm so nervous. Like I can't remember.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know why. I mean, just talking to you on like a live with 5,000 people, no big deal. But no, I am very socialist, and my husband jokes that I was like the modern day Robin Hood.
Really? I like to believe that taking Adrena's custom fitted Joe jeans is that version of Robin Hood that we read about. Now,
Maybe.
what did you think of Emma Roberts' portrayal of you in The Bling Ring? And would you have preferred more diversity in the role with like a Zendaya playing you?
Emma Watson. Am I not allowed to correct you though?
Oh, whoops. What did I
I'm
say?
sorry. You said Roberts.
Sometimes
Watson.
I
No, I think that it was one regarding having Zendaya, who is an incredible actress. I mean, amazing. Play Me would have been a really bad choice. But I think with regards to Emma Watson, the problem I had was the comments that she made about me and the role, despite the fact that she already knew that I was a convicted heroin, like the heroin part, like my drug addiction part had already come out. And so I was actually in treatment at the time that they were filming that movie. And she still was like, this girl is like the pit. I think she said something along the lines of like, this girl is the epitome of like what, like I'm totally against, and she's disgusting. And like, you know, that like at that point, I already came out with the fact that I had been sexually abused throughout my childhood and was like a full blown heroin addict at the time. So I've never watched the Bling Ring movie, and
wow.
I don't plan on ever watching it.
Wow. And why is that?
I just feel as though you only get so many hours in your life, and I'm not going to spend 2 hours watching a movie that's just not at all accurate.
Damn. Okay, hot take. Now, I noticed that there were no black people in the Bling Ring. Is that because you guys were racist and didn't want black people in your gang?
I think it more so had to do with the fact that we grew up in the fucking suburbs where it's all white people, which is sad. There was one black family that went to my middle school and high school, and I ended up dating him, and that was the only one in the entire community.
Damn. I noticed, so I watched all of Pretty Wild. The only black person I saw was Vernon Davis in episode 3. Now, how many black friends do you have?
I'm happy to say that I have a very diverse community of friends. I'm not going to name them, Ziwe. I'm not going to do it to them. I'm not. But I pride myself on the fact that I have a diverse community, and actually, I don't know if I think you saw my stories yesterday, but I was talking about that as we're in the process of adoption.
Yeah.
They asked us, are you open to adopting a child of another race? And they asked if we understood the responsibility of that. And then they also asked what our community is like. And, we go to a really, are you familiar? You're not, you're in New York. But we attend like the Agape Spiritual Center, which is in LA with Reverend Michael Beckwith. And yeah, we have a diverse community of people.
Okay, and so I loved your Instagram stories about how you were kicked out of an adoption-based group because you brought up the differences between raising a Black son or a white son. So let's just role play for a minute, right? I'm your Black son. How would you raise me?
Well, first and foremost, I would make sure to surround him with
me.
A lot of, or I'd surround you. First and foremost, I would inform myself about your, if I could, specific heritage. I would learn about Black hair. I would be I think you have to be, my point was that there is an added responsibility. I think it's, first of all, I don't even know if white people at this point should be able to adopt Black children.
Wow.
I mean, I'm just going to say that.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't, because there is an added responsibility. And if you think that raising your white son is the same as raising a Black son, you're like really mistaken. I think that it's ignorant and that you have to go above and beyond to keep that child safe. And so we would have to have the tough conversations about race really early on and about how to keep yourself safe. And I think that is, it's heartbreaking that we're still having to do this in 2020. But yeah, I think the problem I had in that group was a Black woman posed the question, like, if you're a white family adopting a child outside of your race, do you understand the added responsibility of that? And I said yes. And the moderator of the group was like, this is absurd, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, what's absurd is the fact that you won't acknowledge the fact that Black people are more likely to be shot by police, to die in childbirth, that they're more likely to have negative health outcomes. Like, I'm sorry, you need to be aware of that, because the chances of your child going into the emergency room with appendicitis and not walking out alive because of the color of their skin is like an actual thing in the United States. I don't know. I don't have the perfect answer. All I know is this, that like,
I'm not asking you to be perfect. And there are several people in the comments who are asking you to adopt them. Just one more baby question, because I'm stuck on this baby thing. I'm a baby, I'm a Black child, and I'm like, wow, what's Shea Moisture? What would you say?
Shea Moisture is an amazing hair care line.
Okay, good. Now, you mentioned that you didn't wake up to racism until 5 years ago. What woke you up?
When I got sober, my first couple of years of sobriety were really about me. When I was in active addiction, I didn't give a shit about anyone except for myself. And then in early recovery, I only cared about like me and my family. But I think when I became a birth doula, I started learning about the health outcomes of women of color versus white women. And I was shocked and saddened to learn about how frequently Black women die in the U.S. and started to learn about the fact that like there's 15,000 midwives in the U.S. and only 2% of them are Black. And so I just started to go down like the rabbit hole of like racism in America. And then I watched the documentary, The 13th, and then I started looking, and then I I started to be willing to have these tough conversations with my friends, women of color, that have, you know, guided me on this path. And then after that, I think once you open the door to this and like really are willing to wake up to how racist I was, like, and my own microaggressions. I mean, that's true. I've done a lot. I mean, I have a full-on Native American woman tattooed on my fucking arm. Like, fucking cringe, right? Like, and there's nothing that I can do to get rid of that. Like, what can I do? And so I didn't realize my privilege. I also think because I grew up in such a chaotic household with so much abuse, the whole wrapping my head around privilege thing was really difficult. And then as I started to do it, it just, things, I don't know, I became really passionate about it, to like the point where I've taken my kids out of school and they're getting, we're using this new curriculum that is historically accurate, non-whitewashed, secular curriculum. And I'm like teaching my kids. So right now I'm actually learning about all of the amazing Black men and women who literally built this country and made it as great as it is today, that you had mentioned before.
I mean, shout out. I've listened to maybe 12 podcast episodes of you in the last like week.
Oh, okay.
You definitely are having these conversations. Now, speaking of learning about Black people, I'm going to name some Black people and you tell me who they are, okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Martin Luther King.
Civil rights activists.
Okay, Malcolm X.
Minister, also civil rights activist.
Okay, Fred Hampton.
Don't know.
Angela Davis.
She's still alive. She's an activist and a prison abolitionist, and I believe she teaches out here in Southern California, if I'm not
Maybe.
I don't know.
Shirley Chisholm.
No idea.
Okay, Barack Obama.
Oh my God, my favorite president.
What's your favorite president?
I think that it's interesting because I grew up in like very liberal bubble of Southern California, right? And I was raised to be colorblind. We don't see color. Like, you know, when I brought home that Black boyfriend,
Oh my gosh.
my mom was not like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? I didn't have that kind of life. It was very like, just whatever. Point is, he was the first president that I could vote for. He passed legislation for gay rights. And I thought we were making massive progress. And while having a Black president is great, I have now learned a lot more. And you know, out of all of the presidents that we've had, I think he's the best of all of them. I mean,
let's discuss more about how Barack Obama reminds you of your Black boyfriend. So
no, I did not say that. No. I didn't. You are putting words in my mouth. No, I do have a crush on Obama. I think he's a beautiful man.
Okay, we're gonna.
But my point is that like I lived in such a bubble of ignorance, and there we go.
Okay, sure. Okay, hey, you know, God bless. We'll pivot a little. So you once said that Ryan Cabrera could get any girl he wanted. Do you believe your ideology upholds white beauty standards?
No. I don't know the answer to that. No. Do I believe that Ryan Cabrera in 2020 could get any woman that he wants? Absolutely not. And back then, that was stupid for me to say that. No.
Okay, so what was the prison industrial complex like as a gorgeous white woman?
Yeah, I touch on that on my book, and I've spoken about that a couple of times. I will say, and this is, you know, when I talk about microaggressions and things like that, like I was scared to go to jail. I thought that it was going to be like this big race war, and that I, as a white woman, would be in a lot of danger. And what I realized was when I got there, and sorry if you can hear my dog eating, there's nothing I can do about it. What I realized when I got there was that no, it was the women that I was in protective custody with that were really in danger. These women were, are innocent until proven guilty and have been sitting there for years because they can't afford bail. They have children that they had to leave behind, and they've been sitting in jail cells for years and years fighting cases with public defenders. And yeah, that was part of my waking up too, is like really getting to know these women. One in particular, and I'll leave her name out, she was the motherly figure of the cell block that I was in, and she cared for me when I was detoxing from heroin. Like, you see all of these crazy things on TV, like I would watch like Locked Up and like all of these crazy shows that make you so scared for like, and you don't know what to expect. And then I realized that when in jail, I was the safest person probably in the entire jail.
Wow. I think that's important to admit. You said that you got really good at making jail food. What was some of your favorite jail food to make? Like Dyer's, Haines.
Yeah, so jail food is disgusting. And one of my favorite meals would be, I would order Fritos from commissary, and they would give us chili on, I think it was Thursdays. And so I would put the chili in the Fritos and then put squeezed cheese on top. And that was my favorite meal.
Interesting. Now, okay, you said, so you used to be a hip hop dance instructor.
Pole dancing.
Yeah, what was your favorite rap song?
I don't really want to say this.
Your favorite rap song?
Okay. Because I feel like I'm going to be made fun of. Tupac's Thug's Life. I can't.
You would.
Ooh, okay. Yes, I used to pole dance to that song a lot when I was 16. Oh.
Okay. Hey, you know what? On Pretty Wild, there was an episode where you went to Cabo to raise money for a charity called Help for Haiti. What does Haiti need help with?
I didn't even know that we were there for a charity until the night of the charity. But that was right after the huge hurricane, I guess. So it was like a relief fund.
I see. Would you say that your mom, Andrea? Would you say that Andrea walks so Kris Jenner could fly?
Kris Jenner is, yeah. Sure, you could say that, I guess. Kris Jenner is like on another level.
How old were you when you were doing Pretty Wild?
I just turned 18.
Yeah, I watched it when it came out years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then I watched it again as an adult, and it made me viscerally uncomfortable to see, because I didn't know if you were legal or not, and it made me uncomfortable to see how you guys were like sexualized. How does it feel treading back over that territory?
Yeah, I mean, over-sexualization was something that happened in my life since I was a young child. My mom was in Playboy. We were always encouraged to feel good in our bodies and to be naked. And like I said, there was a lot of sexual abuse that happened in my household when I was a young child. It started around the age of 5. Yeah, would I ever allow my daughters to be exposed to the things that I was exposed to? Absolutely not. No, I think I look back now and I think that much of television that aired in the early 2000s would definitely not be allowed to air right now.
Wow. So during the show, you would yell at your mom. And there was one moment when you screamed at your mom in your lawyer Jeff Rubenstein's office, and you said, "You don't know what you're talking about. This is my fucking case." Now, this is a strict cultural difference. Yelling at parents is not necessarily an African thing or a Black thing. I don't know. So my question to you is, what empowered you to yell at your mom?
We yelled like that our entire lives.
Yeah.
Like I remember my mom yelling at me and calling me a cunt when I was like 12. So
Yeah.
that's just kind of the way that I grew up. It's wild for sure.
Pretty wild. Did you get residuals on that show?
No,
You don't?
no,
Wow.
no residuals.
That was a question just for me, by the way. Okay. Okay. How have you decolonized your mind in the last like 3 months?
In the last 3 months. Okay. So you listen to my podcast. I really, since the beginning of my podcast, I've made an effort to have on Black women specifically to have these conversations that are really tough. Right now, I'm reading So You Want to Talk About Race, which I think is great. Like I said, I'm pulling my kids out of school and developing their curriculum. So I'm planning out what they'll learn this year, which we're doing a year like traveling around the world and learning about different cultures. And I'm doing my best to really listen and to seek guidance and to hold myself accountable and to hold my family members and friends accountable.
Would you consider yourself a Black ally?
No, I'm not Black.
Okay. Who's your favorite celebrity? Favorite Black celebrity?
I love Scandal. So I love Kerry Washington. Like that show is amazing. I love fashion. I love the styling. I love the acting. I love the cast. I wish it would have never ended. It's so good.
That show was fantastic, and Shonda Rhimes killed it, and so did Kerry. Could you do an impression of Kerry Washington as Olivia Pope?
No.
No?
I cannot.
Because you're a fan.
Because I could see how that could be really fucking problematic, Ziwe.
What do you qualitatively like about Black people?
This one's hard. There's no right or wrong answer, right? You either say like qualitatively, like that's hard. I will say that from the community that I have, what I really love is, in my friendships is they care about family and they care about each other and they have big, like the families that I have big, beautiful families and great relationships and are just all around good people.
Yes, you're right. Black people are good people. Now,
They are.
people want to know about Lindsay Lohan. Have you been in contact with her since Bling Ring went down?
No, and no, this is probably not a good, no, I have not.
Okay.
No, I saw her in a sober space together in sobriety and it was very cordial and that was it.
Shout out to sobriety. I think that is very, very cool. I think that you are a good role model in that regard, coming from the unscripted world and sort of finding yourself in that way. So I think shout out to that, truly. Now, you once said, if Buddha can sit under a tree for 40 days, you can do 180 days in federal custody. What?
What is right?
What?
A 19-year-old Alexis. There are no words. Very different circumstances for sure.
You also said, I'm a firm believer in karma. And I think this situation was entrusted into my life because it was supposed to be a huge learning lesson to me to grow and expand as a spiritual being. I see myself being like an Angelina Jolie, but even stronger, pushing even harder for the universe and for peace and for the health of our planet.
I stand behind most of that, but I will say Angelina Jolie is probably much stronger than I am.
Why would you say that? We don't know.
I mean, you having to remove her breast because of potentially having breast cancer, going through a divorce with, I think she has 6 kids, having her business always being, talked about, personal life. I mean,
Shout
yeah,
out to Christina because she is fantastic, and I think she's a
she
fantastic
is.
actress.
She
But
is.
we don't do Olympics of strength. We don't do that. Okay. Here's another question for you. Oh, you said
Okay.
you wanted to be on Real Housewives of Orange County. What would you say to Kelly Dodd, who famously said that she doesn't date black guys?
Why? Why would you ever say that? It's just like, I mean, sounds like a microaggression, an issue, which sounds like you're racist. I don't know.
Have you ever worn blackface, Lexi Nyers?
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting you to say yes.
Do you want the story, or do you just want to move on? Because either way, I respect your decision.
No, let's hear about it.
Pretty wild, when I was working as a backup dancer in music videos for Heroin Money, I showed up to do a Marilyn Manson music video, and they dressed us in American flag bikinis with Mickey Mouse ears on with blackface. And I don't know what's worse, the fact that it was blackface and like I know now what that is, or the fact that at the time I was so freaking ignorant I didn't even know what blackface was. I mean, what I feel like, yeah, we have to talk about this, like how ignorant we are, and like how many stupid things that I've done, and like having that's my top 2 racist thing, are definitely doing that music video and this tattoo on my arm. I mean, and probably having a panic attack before talking about race with you. It's problematic. I don't know what to say. Yeah, there's nothing that I can do about it now. So
What I appreciate that you provide a forum for your fans to learn stuff. Can you name 5 black people?
that I know, or like just in general?
Whatever you prefer.
Okay. Sonia Taylor, Ashley Marie Preston, Jimi Hendrix, Ray Charles, Rachel Cargill, the beautiful Ziwe.
You did it. I love Ray Charles is your deep cut. Now we have a couple questions, but this has been a fantastic interview, so thank you for taking the time.
Okay.
Here's a good question. What are you doing to support women prisoners?
Yeah, so I should be doing more. That should be a cause that I definitely should take up. Right now I've got a lot on my plate. I did commit to donating 10% of all of my income from my podcast and merch to Black causes. So maybe that will be what I will do, like a bail fund or something like that.
Ooh, here's a question for you. Why don't you cover up your racist Native American tattoo?
Well, I don't know how I would cover this. Like, how do you cover a full sleeve tattoo? Like, I don't, like, just black, like, just cover it black. Like, I don't really know what, like, I would do.
Can you name 5 Native Americans?
My husband's fiance, I'm not going to name him, and his 2 beautiful twins. But other than that, no.
Wow. Hey, you know what? Let's see. Oh, do you think lip fillers are racist?
I mean, it's an interesting question. I think recently I've been thinking about that more, and I think that anything that is seen as I think anything, it's like the question with like dreads, like if Black people can't freely wear dreads, then white people should not be wearing dreads, right? Like, so should white women be able to like fill their lips when like Black women are like over sexualized or like, you know, seen in a certain way because of their lips? I mean, that's definitely something to think about.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I have two
I don't
questions.
know the answer to it either.
Yeah, I don't. I have two questions left for you. Now, here's a question for you.
Mhm.
You once said, "I'm a great person, and people who really know me and did the research on me know the great things I do for the community and for this universe." So, what good do you do for your community?
I don't really want to brag about the things that I do for my community, Ziwe. I mean, I said that when I was 19 on
No, you don't have to,
drugs.
but I actually think it's important to talk about your work as you specialize in rehabilitating drug addicts. You specialize.
I do.
You have a
Yeah.
long path,
Yeah.
pretty well. So let's
Yeah.
put that out there to see, just like have your fans know a little bit about the post Alexis Haines before.
Okay. Yeah. So I do own a drug and alcohol treatment center where
Yeah.
I've been fortunate to treat at this point thousands of people and help them get sober. I've had the privilege of sponsoring many women in AA, and I donate a lot of money to different causes. And I have really committed my life to helping people get sober, and with mental illness too. We're a dual diagnosis treatment center. So
I love your podcast. I think it is so interesting and fascinating. And what you reached out to me, and I had no idea of your post Pretty Wild journey. So it was I really appreciated learning more about who you are and how much you've changed since you were 18 on an unscripted show. So I really, truly, when I say I think it's very cool, what you've done with sobriety and how you try to help people, I really mean that. I think it's really cool. Now,
okay.
Are you terrified?
No, I the first 5 minutes were like, oh my God, how am I gonna do this? And now I feel I could talk to you for 5 hours. And I can't wait to have you on the podcast. And I reached out because what I think you're doing here is really important. And I hope that everyone takes away from this moment that, like, as white women, we have to be willing to be really uncomfortable right now. Like, we have to be willing to vote against our own financial best interests. We have to be willing to pay up. We do. We have to use our platforms to amplify Black voices. We have to do all of the things right now. And I hope that other women see this and that they feel comfortable to talk and reach out to others in their community and reach out and like do the right thing. I that's what I hope. Someone keeps talking about fiance, and I don't get it in the comments. I'm like so confused.
At one point, you said, I asked you to name 5 Native Americans, and you said my husband's fiance.
No. I'm sorry. My mom's fiance. My mother's fiance is a Native American man and his 2 beautiful children who I adore.
How are Tess and Gabby doing, by the way?
So Gabby's doing really well. She's 31 weeks pregnant. She's
Congratulations.
2 years married. I'm really proud of her.
And
unfortunately, Tess and I are pretty much like estranged at this point. Yeah.
Oh no.
I love her. I wish nothing but the best for her. She's an incredible mom. She's an incredible woman. We're just on different paths in life right now, and that's okay. Like, I wholeheartedly like respect where she's at, and that's okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's none of my business. Hopefully that you guys can reconcile, as I loved your friendship on the show. Now, last question is, why did you come onto this show?
Like I said, I think that it's really important to be willing to get uncomfortable. Like, I'm a person who is in recovery, and I still have anxiety and mental health stuff that comes up, right? And like, the thought of doing this was like really, really scary, but I'm grateful that I did. I think, I wanted to have you on the podcast to like explore and like talk about your life. And when you were like, well, I'll do it, but like only if you come on my show, the first thing I thought is like, if I have to go and be publicly humiliated and like make an ass of myself and make mistakes and like own up to all of my past and even present racist bullshit, then hopefully other women are going, I can do the same thing too. That's
Shout
what
out.
I hope.
And you know what? I have to stand. Please plug your podcast for the audience one last time.
You can check out my podcast, Recovering from Reality. It's available wherever podcasts are. And I appreciate you and your time. And I hope
Thank you so much.
I can't wait to have you on.
I can't wait to do your podcast and also check out her book. It's actually pretty awesome. Okay, or should I say pretty wild. Okay,
Pretty wild.
Please give it up for Alexis Haines. What an iconic figure. Next week we have the brilliant Liza Traeger and we have Patty Harrison. I'll see you same time, same place, Thursdays at 8 p.m. I'm Ziwe. Stay safe out there. Wear a mask. Bye, guys.